Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here. In today's video, I'll be talking about Luke McCaffrey and did the Washington Commanders find a hidden gem on day 2, drafting Luke McCaffrey in the 3rd round. We'll talk about his role, my expectations for him, and some other stuff as well. So stay tuned for the entire video. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button and that notification bell as well so you never miss a video. And I want you guys to comment down below what your stat projections are for Luke McCaffrey, what you think he's going to do this year. So go ahead and comment that down below, and all those things help out a ton. And I am pre-recording this video on June 21st, 6:27 p.m. Not sure when it's going up, so if anything I say is a little bit out of date, that is why. But let's get into Luke McCaffrey. Discussing him when the Commanders drafted him. I think I heard of him before, but I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really know much about him. But the more I learned about him, the more I became intrigued. And I was seeing something or a tweet by Jim Nagy, who is the guy who's in charge of the Senior Bowl. Usually younger brothers of successful NFL players are overhyped, but in this case, Luke McCaffrey's flew under the radar. And I'll show you guys some clips too from mini camp, OTA, stuff like that. Here is some mini camp stuff. He caught a pass a little bit underthrown. I don't know who threw it, but it doesn't really matter. Just seeing stuff there. But yeah, Luke McCaffrey, former college quarterback. So we're just going to go over some information you might not know about him. Played quarterback at Nebraska and, wasn't amazing there. And then went ahead, transferred to Rice, played quarterback there for a year, and then played receiver. So you look at his stats, played 4 games and then 7 games his sophomore year. Redshirt freshman year at Nebraska. Then Rice played quarterback his first year there. And then his second year, he was, receiver, played pretty well. 11 games, 12 rushes, 148 yards and a touchdown, almost 60 catches, 58, 723 yards, 12.5 yards a catch and 6 touchdowns. And then had it even better last season where he played in 13 games, 15 rushes, 117 yards, 8 yards a rush, 71 catches, 992 yards, averaged 14 yards a catch, and had 13 touchdowns. So 1,109 yards from scrimmage, so close to 1,000 yards receiving. But yeah, overall had a really good season for the Washington Commanders. For Rice, not sure what Rice is, whatever their mascot is. But you see here also he did throw 2 passes. They were incomplete, but that's something that, maybe eventually they can sprinkle into the offense. Luke McCaffrey throwing a pass or 2 in the season. They did it with Logan Thomas. It worked a couple of times. Maybe they can do that with Luke McCaffrey. Occasionally. He also takes some handoffs and then obviously catches the ball as well. So really the trifecta. I saw someone in another video that I posted talking about him taking handoffs, say that he could be our Taysom Hill. Hey, who knows? But I think he is a much better receiver than Taysom Hill is. But let's go over the information on him. So Lance Zierlein, who I believe did this. Yeah, Lance Zierlein and Chad Reuter, they had him as a 4th round projection, so not very high. And then also is 5.96, so average backup or special teamer. That was his grade. I disagree with that, but we're just going over this review, looking at some information. 6'2", 198 pounds, 4.46, 40-yard dash, so solid there. 36-inch vertical, solid. Not amazing, but those are solid numbers. Broad jump 10.1, 6.7 cone drill, and 4.02 20-yard dash. You look at the stats here. We went over that. Overview, big slot target who comes from high-end NFL bloodlines and who showed noticeable improvements in his 2nd season at the position. He lacks the size of his father, Ed McCaffrey, and the explosiveness of his brother, Offensive Player of the Year Christian McCaffrey, but he catches with soft hands, great focus, and extreme toughness. McCaffrey struggles to release and bypass press coverage and might not have enough separation quickness or top-end speed to uncover against NFL defenders. However, with additional time to learn the position and fine-tune his route running, McCaffrey might be able to follow his dad and brother into the league as a possession slot receiver. And one thing about Luke that I think will be good is he does have those people to lean on in Ed McCaffrey and Christian McCaffrey. And that's just the reality of the situation. If you know people and you can get access to this type of information, it is an advantage. So whenever he's struggling, or not even when he's struggling, he can just go to these guys and ask them, okay, what do I need to do in the weeks, leading up to the game? Like, they can ask questions. They can ask uncomfortable questions to that, or questions they think would be stupid to, like, Terry. And Terry's a nice guy, but maybe Luke isn't super comfortable with Terry yet, so he's not going to ask him a question that maybe to him is something that, he doesn't know, but he might think it's a stupid question. But to your brother, that's a question you can easily ask, and same thing with your dad. You're just way more comfortable. So I think that is something that will be huge for him. And, both of those guys can connect him with good people to be around in terms of, agents, which, obviously Luke already has, and then trainers, stuff like that. It does make a difference. Nutritionists, like, going into the league, Luke is going to be, like, hopefully the maturity of, like, a third-year player or a second-year player versus a lot of these rookies that don't really know what to do. Like, he'll probably have everything set, his diet, nutritionist, financial advisor. I know that doesn't seem like a huge deal, but I really do think it is. And I think he's going to be locked in because of his, he already knows what to expect when he had, he has an older brother in the league and a father in the league. I really do think it does help out. And, when you're a younger brother, I feel like you got to see your older brother, older sister go through things, and it's easier for you. I mean, that's just my opinion, but I know everyone's got different opinions. You can look at the strengths and weaknesses right here for Luke McCaffrey. Let's see some other information. He's been taking some handoffs. So they might do some end arounds is different than just handoffs. I'm sure he'll do end arounds, but so did De'Ami Brown, Terry, and Jahan. But he might actually take some handoffs out of the backfield like a Deebo Samuel. I'm not saying that he's going to be a Deebo Samuel, but just in terms of his role, maybe taking a carry every other game or so out of the backfield. And Anthony Lynn was in San Francisco with Deebo Samuel. And, with Adam Peters too, and Christian McCaffrey, and now, he's here with Luke McCaffrey. So a lot of those connections overlapping there as well. And let's see, this was something cool. This is a couple weeks ago, and by the time you're watching, this is 9 days ago from when I'm recording, but whenever it gets posted, it could be 2-3 weeks from the date that this got tweeted out. Or whenever the interview happened. I really like this. So Jaden Daniels said he and Luke McCaffrey get in at 5:45 every morning or every day to do some walkthrough in the bubble and watch some film. So I think that's huge, and they're getting that work in, putting in that work together, and Luke's putting in that work, and both of them going at 5:45. That's very early, and he also is, and this is another thing, former quarterback, so he's gonna have a little bit more understanding of the offense and of offenses and even defenses than other guys because he knows two positions. And he also might be a little bit raw compared to some other guys because he just, this is going to be his third year ever playing receiver versus played college his whole life and played quarterback his whole life. A lot of, receivers that come to the league, they've played receiver their whole life. So they're much more experienced. So Luke will have a lot of learning to do, but hey, that's fine. But I think, this year, I think a solid season for him would be like 500 yards, a few touchdowns, and then maybe that year 2 is when you get that big jump. But yeah, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did stay till the end, go ahead and comment down below Vernon Davis. Peace, guys.